on the borrowing side, how is it now that I request a loan? Somebody goes online. What do they fill out? What's the kind of the process at the beginning?
Yeah. Basically, we have an application online.
Okay.
And it's a pretty simple application. I would say it probably wouldn't take somebody more than 5 or 10 minutes to complete.
Okay.
You're going to email that in to us. It's really, you just hit submit and it comes to us. If you don't have a property, it's going to come to us, and then you're going to get an auto response that's going to say, also send in your bank statements. So once we have that application and then the bank statements, we'll be able to tell somebody if we can work with them, how much we can approve them for, and that type of thing. If somebody actually has a property, they're going to go on the website also. They're going to fill out the same application. Along with the bank statements, we'll need that, but then they're going to also say that they have a property in escrow. Mm-hmm. And they'll hit submit, and then they'll fill out a little more information about the property and such. And when those come in, those come directly to me, and that's something that we'll call right back, because obviously if somebody has a property, that's a priority.
Okay. The types of properties that we have lent on.
Okay. We primarily, I would say, would do single-family residences. We do some units. It's going to be mainly conforming houses, and by conforming, by that I mean in the neighborhood. They got to look like the neighborhood. We're probably not going to do, as an example, a 600 square foot house on 20 acres. That wouldn't be conforming to us.
Right.
Really, the manufactured homes, unless an isolated case, most of those might be a property we don't do, but we have done some because mm-hmm. of the nature of it. We don't do commercial. We don't do raw land. We really try to stay in a pretty simple box. We've always stayed in our niche. I think as a company, that's really one thing that's made us strong, is whether it's, 03, 06, 07, 10, 12, whenever, what was a loan in any one of those years is a loan now.
Correct.
We don't ever alter our box because it's not full enough, let's say.
Exactly. No, and I think that's really important to realize, that when you have a pool of money, that's one of the things that seems such an option, is that we're not busy enough doing what we know, so therefore, and that's what usually those pools end up doing, is investing in the land and the other projects that were taking up more money, but they've got it to place and get to say they're getting a yield, but the risk was way out of the box of what they knew.
When most people lost, obviously 06, 07, 08, those were difficult times for everybody. We were very fortunate because we suffered probably less than any other company out there. I was amazed at how many people lost so much money in land, in construction projects that really didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It goes into that thing we talked about earlier, trying to get a yield. Sometimes the best thing to do with your money is not lend it out.
Right.
And people were so eager to get a yield, they really stopped looking at what they were lending on. And that can be a problem.
And you're talking really experienced people.
I was shocked with some
Not
of the
first
results.
timers.
No,
really experienced people.
Yes.
And I think part of it is, so you deal with the Norris Group and it's worked.
Right.
The assumption is, oh, this is easy, and now I have to do it on my own, no big deal.
Right.
And yeah, it's really good to have a team that you can trust and say, you know what, if they don't want a loan right now, maybe it's a good idea not to, or rein it in or something,
Yeah, there's a lot of difference between a 12-foot house, 1,200 square foot house, say in Riverside, than a sloping lot in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
That isn't the same investment.
Right. There's paperwork involved, and this is definitely on your side and Robin and Rhonda's side. There's an investment bulletin, and it says a lender purchaser disclosure statement, including 10 items. What's that?
Yeah, basically what those are, it's almost like escrow instructions or documents for the lender.
Okay.
In other words, they're going to sign, a person that invests money is really going to sign paperwork just like a borrower.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of really more verbiage type of documents that just state that this is an escrow, that there's a broker, lender relationship. There's going to be, some of the documents are going to have numbers. Like, as an example, it's going to have property address, it's going to have appraisal information, what the house is, how much the loan is. how much are you lending, what's your equity protection, those type of things.
Right.
Those are all going to be included in the documents.
And it's there's a servicing agreement that says that we're going to get
Yes.
paid for our services as we collect
Yes.
this payment. Certain amount goes to you, and a service fee goes and stays here.
Yes.
Okay. When somebody finally says, "Yeah, I'm interested in this trust deed," okay. So first of all, how do they get notified that there's one available, and then what's the process after that when they actually get to write a check?
Yeah, it's probably going to be, the first step would be, as of January 2013, there's new regulations to even be a trust deed investor, and that regulation is you can't lend any more than, say, 10% of your net worth minus your home on a trust deed.
On one trust deed.
On one
yeah.
trust deed. So what you're probably going to want to do is go ahead and either call me, go online, get that investor questionnaire, fill it out. Once we have that filled out, Aaron will put you on what we call our first look program. And basically what that is, that's where we're going to send out trust deeds to people as they become available.
Okay.
And then somebody that is interested in a trust deed, usually the process would be they can call in or email in, and if they're the first one, we're going to give them a certain amount of time to do what would be their due diligence on the trust deed, probably 24 hours. And then they would need to say, okay, this is definitely something I want. And then after that, it's going to vary anywhere from just a couple days to maybe a couple weeks that we're going to need to get paperwork in. We're going to need to send them paperwork, get paperwork back, get a check.
Is the appraisal already in place at the point, at what point is the appraisal
Yeah,
in place?
the appraisal is really the first thing that's in place.
Okay.
That's going to be in place at the very beginning.
Because then we know what we have, what we can loan.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's really going to be what starts the process and turns it into just from a possible loan into a loan.
The paperwork after closing. So
Right.
now we have the promissory note. Who holds that? Is that usually us or is it them?
Yeah, what usually, the process usually is, we generally will hold the originals.
Mm-hmm.
We hold those in fireproof safes. We send out copies of the recorded deed of trust, of the promissory note. They also get a copy of the title policy, which is going to show them in first position. They're going to get a copy of the fire insurance policy. So usually what we do is we wait to collect all of that information so we have it all together, and then Vicki will send that out in like a PDF file. And if we have a few people that really aren't computer orientated, so if somebody prefers, we can just FedEx that out when it's available.
So when it's all done and they have their paperwork, there's really not much else to do but sit there and wait till a check shows up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
now-
that's when the best part starts, yes.
Now it's a little different than it used to be because a lot of it now is automated, right? So
Yeah, we have probably, I don't know what percentage, but I would say 90+% of the borrowers, when they make their payments, it's all done automatically. And then a growing number of investors are just getting their payments automatically also.